Automation's second phase of version 4.3 is here. With the Al-Rilma update, they finally added superchargers to the game. They've also added new configurations to the turbochargers and scenario-based multiplayer missions you could do with this new update. Hey guys, it's TRIZE here, and let's create a new car with the new UI and update the game. So instead of clicking on the new model button when you create a brand new car to get to the car selection screen, you have the ability with this new update to choose out your year, your car model name, trim name, and your target demographic, including the target country that your vehicle will be marketed in. I guess for the sake of this video, we'll click on this to pick the year of 1970, and the car model name, I'll probably do my freaking GM type of cars. Axes. You know what, technically company is the sandbox here, so this will be, let's just go forward with this. I might as well create the new company of frickin' Axes for my car company, for all my Axes cars, or my rental cars, my automation campaign, which I'm still working on that, as you can see here, it's blurred out, and other things along the line. So, new car model, Axes. I'll think of a name some other time, and to make use of superchargers, muscle car. And for the car selector screen to choose out your car body, this has been compacted down big time to the point where you can just choose a body and select a given wheelbase here. So this wannabe Corvette body, I could choose a 2.2 meter wheelbase body and just go from there. Or click on the 3 meter wheelbase version, add same thing. So for the car I'm actually going to be using is this 1970 body with the 2.75 meter wheelbase body, which is kind of giving me some Chevy Monte Carlo to mostly a Monte Carlo GNX kind of vibe. I'll definitely work with this. So for the panel material, of course, 1970 steel with a regular ladder type chassis, not an HD or a heavy duty ladder chassis. Pretty much found in like trucks and SUVs and all that stuff. Keep it semi-realistic, maybe a little bit advanced. Galvanized steel, front longitudinal, double wishbones up front, and coils at the back. And also, too, if you highlight each of the parts over, the frickin' bars for the first time actually animate rather than going like beep, 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 where it shows you the before and after of choosing whatever this part here versus that part. And oh boy, this is giving me some frickin' vibes. The key engine days where you choose the body. Drivetrain? Hold on a minute. Okay then. Drivetrain, paint, fixtures, and the engine. So this is like the key engine days where you design the car first and then do the engine. Okay. I think for the car body, definitely can work with this. I'll do some of the bumpers and this is why I got the early access build, which will probably be fixed possibly once this is fully released. So right away, drive type. Rather than just choose the engine and then the drive type, so river drive with a manual 4-speed. And I'll probably skip over the paint job and design part for now, but I'll build the engine as so by clicking on new project and the Sungazer Auto. It won't be a family car type of engine. Where's muscle? I highlight muscle. So for the error updating beta database engine, good old V8 engine because it's the 1970s and it's America. I'll set the bore to 101.5 millimeters and a stroke to 106.5 millimeters to get the engine size to 6,894 cubic centimeters or 6.9 liters. And push rod heads with the new types of head materials from, I'm going to bump the year for the sake of explaining everything. So you could choose either between the cast iron or aluminum type of head materials with each of its presets here, from an economical or economy-based iron block or head, the standard level or performance level for the cast iron, or go up to the aluminum, same thing for these three, or up to an aluminum billet raised head material, rather than the cast, aluminum, and aluminum silicon. I'll just do the performance one, and for the heck of it, just real quick, I seen in the devlogs you can go mental with the engine size. Yes, they were right. theoretically, what can I set this to? 36.6 liter engine. What about a V16? 73.3 liters. Can I still upboard the engine? This gives me an idea for the future. So for the internals, it's still pretty much the same on how it's laid out, including the flat plane version. So I guess cast everything for light one, I guess. And for the top end, for the RPM limit, it's been bumped over to the left, almost center portion of the screen here, rather than where I think where the VVL profile is at. So compression, cam, springs, and RPM are in this section of the screen, with the VVT, VVL, all that stuff has been shifted over to the right. I'll bump this up to 5,000. And ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in Automation history since, what, 2012 or 11 with their, like, pre-alpha build, let's slap on a supercharger. Bishware. Probably once you put on the fuel system, I guess. So carburetor, 4-barrel twin. Still don't got it yet. And yes, fuel system does have its separate tab, including the fuel, where you can choose what type of fuel type you'd want, rather than being like off to the side. With the fuel type, fuel level, mapping, and everything, and even too with the fuel system, where we got the lambda equals 1 area for your fuel mixture. If you increase your lambda equals 1 area, you'll be having some more throttle response, but you're going to be keeping in mind if you do so. So in quick summary, it gives you more throttle response, but lower fuel efficiency, and all that stuff, and more fuel efficiency usually. And good old regular leaded fuel for now, I guess, a performance mid intake. And here's our supercharger. So I had to put the friggin' intake manifold to make this thing work. So we got the supercharger pulley, as so, and the supercharger itself dead center of your screen. Now for the exhaust pipes, so I'm guessing cast mid, dual exhaust, and exhaust reactor. I've never done this, but give it a shot, and straight through, crankshaft is jacked. Yeah, crankshaft, like torque and RPM stress issues that we are having, and the conrods are kind of screwed over, so make them stronger. Let's see, forged. That helps out. I'm guessing forged internals and reliability -1% at 6,700, so there's RPM stress beforehand. Really? And just to highlight over for the aspiration details, so quick with the supercharger, we got ourselves the roots level, centrifugal, and screw-based supercharger. And your capacity from it being the lowest of 626 cubic centimeters, or the highest of a 6.2, almost 6.3 liter supercharger, which makes crap ton of horsepower and blaze that bitch with the flow issues of unrestricted compressor flow used and temperature issues. The second slider is for the supercharger gear ratio, third is the supercharger tune, and the boost limit for the supercharger. So the roots, we got the big ass boy right here. Centrifugal is, where you at, boy? Right here, I believe, with this wannabe Dower Story turbocharger. And we got a pulley here too. Okay, so that's our centrifugal, supercharger, yes for this side only with the V8 configuration, and a screw-based supercharger, which is pretty much like a Roots in a model in a way, which pretty much is in a way a Roots supercharger in terms of the model. And of course, turbochargers are turbochargers, of course, where okay, now we got a bigger turbocharger. The compressor and turbine sizes here. How about boost? Still the 72.5 boost limit. And sequential turbochargers, where we got the stage 1 exhaust. Yes, stage 1 and stage 2 setups of the turbocharger from stage 1. Oh, 1 or 2 pairs. Some freaking double 16 magic here. So sequential kind of works in series, where you got the stage 1 that technically works for the low RPMs and low speeds, and stage 2 will take over for the higher end output for your engine. So 2,500 RPM, because my max, yes, 5,000 RPM is my engine limit. What if I jack this up? Yes, that's where stage 2 will kick in, either at redline or whatever you choose for your stage 2 for the high-end turbos to kick in. The other turbocharger is the compound turbocharger, holy Chrysler, where we got the low P and high PP, the low pressure and high pressure versions of each of the turbos, where the low pressures work at the low end and high pressure for the high end, I believe. And they swapped out the fuel system to get access to the twincharging, which is both the supercharger and turbocharger working in unison. So the turbocharger would work more on the high end, and the supercharger, I believe, would work more on the low end. Supercharger goes on top, turbocharger on the bottom with this V8 setup. Alright, let's drop this to the year of 1970 and see what I could do with tuning this supercharger. So I'm starting to get used to supercharger, and just for the one time, I'm going to quality spam this just because there's an issue with the frickin' supercharger shredding itself due to excessive RPM. I'm currently running a 1.75 liter supercharger for the capacity with a fairly-ish reasonable gear ratio, fair tune, and still just the PSI, currently at 8.7 right now. But with the quality maxed out, I'm making about 390 horsepower and quite a bit of torque. So, I'm pretty much going to call this engine here final. So, a quick overview of the specs. I did change this out to an aluminum performance head material, so minor quality adjustments with the bottom end, nothing on the top end. Still maxed out with the supercharger, the quality slider. Minor adjustments to the fuel system, kept the same fuel, same exhaust, dropped the header size, which we get the power rating of this engine of 421.8 horsepower at 4,700 RPM, of a torque rating of 480 pounds-feet of torque at 4,500 RPM. So with the supercharger here going on over to the turbo grid, we got mechanical and pressure stress set to an 87.5%. If this is the way how it goes here with the new update for automation, I definitely need to learn how superchargers work in this game. Especially when I continue on with my most powerful engine series, we're going to be doing the superchargers and then the new turbocharger ones. Once everything stables out as time goes on, with update per update with this new version of the game. Now, let's give you a quick pull test to hear the supercharger scream for the first time since 2011, 10, or something like that with the old-ass development versions of Automation where they had a supercharger back in the day. I didn't even hear the supercharger, did you? Can't do it here. Alright, so for the rest of the car with the tires, I guess we'll use some radial type tires, some sports compound tires because we gotta grip this bad boy to the ground. 275s in the back will do, I guess 215s, keep it as is up front, I guess. The brakes, I guess, do Venedis, 2 pistons up front, 2 45s. Solid disc, 1 piston, 2 20s in the back. No under tray, brake airflow, 15. For the interior of this build, theoretically we could do a 5-seater. Okay then. I guess I'll choose the premium type of interior with a premium 8-track player. Driver and safety aids. It's a higher end, hydraulic rack and pinions, standard 70s safety standards. With some progressive springs, gas mount 2 dampers, sort of a sport preset, and no oversteering. Good. And it's declared as a pony car. Muscle car sportiness. I think this is more of a pony car, but a pony car with a big-ass engine. So it's at the top speed. It says 130. I'm guessing 150. More? Way more. Way more. It's going to be a 200-mile-an-hour car. 170 it claims. So 175. Up first gear a bit for the sake of reliability, is going to say so. A lot of brake force and crap ton of issues. 8.9 US miles per gallon. That smells frickin' Americana up in here, especially with a supercharged big-ass V8 engine. I definitely agree with you. And I definitely agree with you with the front brakes. Alright, I think I'm good with the trim portion of the vehicle all done, so just a brief little breeze with the specs, everything that I built with all the changes and all that good stuff. And with this new track here that has been implemented with the new update, I tried to click on the play button and the thing bugged out, so I'm afraid to hit the play button again with this version of the build. So let's go all the way back to trim body and aesthetics and click on the fixtures button and do a brief time-lapse portion of me trying to build the exterior of this vehicle and drive it on over in BeamNG.drive. So here is the time-lapse portion of this here build right now. So for the design of this car, inspired by the 4th gen Chevy Monte Carlo, I started with the front end, which wasn't that bad. I slapped on a pair of large, singular headlights with turn signals and a rectangular grille. I also added a bumper fixture to add these running lights on the bottom and to add more depth to the actual bumper. I then plopped this hood ornament with the Axis logo implemented. On the hood scoop, I added the engine size and supercharger badge to show people that it has a huge engine with a supercharger installed. For the side trim, just like the Monte Carlo, I've used a door guard strip fixture and painted it chrome and plastered it on the sides of the front bumper, on the side doors, and the sides of the rear bumper. Above that huge chrome strip on the bottom, I added a chrome door protector strip on both doors. I initially wanted to wrap it around from the front bumper to the doors, but it didn't seem to flow well towards the back. Speaking of the back end, I simply slapped on the same bumper fixture as the front and put it on the rear. I then placed this modded North Carolina license plate from 1970, just like the front, on the bottom of the bumper instead of on the trunk like the Monte Carlo's plate placement, including adding the exhaust tips inside the rear bumper fixture and implementing a small lip spoiler. And the taillights are indeed inspired by the Monte Carlo. You got this huge brake light paired with the reverse lights on the bottom. It sucks that I can't have my brake lights also work as the turn signals like every American car that's out there. After designing the car, I take my time to pick out a color, which I ended up picking up this magma orange paint job for the car. So, after getting everything done with this build, here's how it came out. This is the 1970 Axis DeVault LSX. This muscle car has a powerful 421 cubic inch supercharged engine. Named after the Saint DeVault turn in Monaco, this personal luxury coupe turned sports car has quite a bit of power and speed into this machine. I hope that in BeamNG, I'm able to hear the supercharger whine, unlike earlier that it didn't. So, after getting the Axis DeVault LSX all done up in here, so despite the problems that we got here with the supercharged engine, such as the front and rear dampers being quite hard, the brakes suffer from brake fade, the gearbox reliability is too low, the engine suffers from valve flow, the rear tires are quite wide, the current side of the engine is getting quite narrow, the gearbox reliability is too low to excessive gear range, and the unutilized fuel octane. Let's hop on over to BeamNG.drive to see how well the supercharged quote-unquote pony car is, even though I try to make a muscle car, but let's see how it performs. So here we are at the modded map of Los Angeles, and right away with the back end, that's some nasty ass freaking patch job with exporting this model over, and the supercharger pressure. Are you okay, buddy, or you're having a rough day with this new update? So overall, the car exhausts do work, both for the exhaust pipes in the back, the running light, which is more of a cornering lamp, the front end. Freaking auxiliary daytime running light is clipping through the actual bumper. God damn it. At least the Axis hood ornament is in check on both sides. Okay, that's nice. So anyways, What the hell is my porta potty mod doing here? Let's do a base performance test with this vehicle by doing a 0 to 62 acceleration test, followed by a 62 to 0 brake test, and lastly, a top speed run with this newly supercharged vehicle. So nobody behind me, get ready to start things off here. Neutral drop it. 3, 2, 1, go. Wheels spinning like crazy. And the supercharger does work, but 0 to 62 in 9.33 seconds at 439.76 feet. I was about to say, it's more of a high-end car in terms of power and all that stuff, but at least here, we can hear the supercharger whine, unlike earlier in Automation. The 62 to 0 brake times in 3.93 seconds of 164.07 feet. For a non-ABS 1970-made vehicle, I'd say braking time and distance is fairly realistic. Got vented discs up front, solids in the back, we skid it out. Not skid it out, but lock the tires up. Seems realistic. So for the top speed run, I might as well give you a list of the supercharger. It's pretty much only good for the first 2 gears until the supercharger kicks in and power kicks in at 4,000 RPM. Here we go. What are you doing, Beowulf Cordova, my 17,200 horsepower car? So we're in 4th gear at a speed of 130 miles an hour. Caught a little bit of air there. How about here too? With the Alpha Kratos. And more of my automation-made cars as traffic in the game. So we're about to come to a bend, so we're just going 150 miles an hour. The police are after my ass, so right on the shoulder, we're definitely not going to get the 175 mile an hour top speed, 170 or 175. So crash the little bridge pillar up ahead. Bridge pillar, can you please end my life, please? 32 times slow-mo, hide. Ooh, heavy-ass front-end crash. There goes all the fixtures. There goes the tire. Hello, Mr. Camera, as I flip you over a little bit. And the action crash cam kicks in like it's burnout. And I think the engine's running. Yes, sir. Can you drive? Nope, but we can hear the supercharger again. That's what it should have been in Automation, which was weird how it didn't even play the supercharger sound Automation, but you can get so in BeamNG. So hopping on over to West Coast USA with a time trial run, which I believe is called a highway intersection. So we're going to be doing only 1 lap with this car around the highways and stuff like that around the map here to test out the true capabilities of this vehicle in terms of speed, cornering, acceleration, and all that good stuff. So start things off here in 3, 2, 1, gun it. Do so in automatic mode. Oh no. Frickin' BeamNG, upshift to downshift. Engine is off! That's a corner cut, I'll do it again. So making the corner on the dirt road legitimately. Guys. Let me drive in peace. Alright, highway. Are you gonna let me go? I'll take control of this. Screw it. It's only the first 2 gears. These are some really tall-ass gears and stuff like that. So the first 2 gears is really you get the power down. But gears 3 is... Holy lock up. And I'm not even trying. I am not even trying to lock this damn car up. I would say, first gear, you're laying down the power and getting all that wheel spin. Second gear, laying down the power once it kicks in, and you got that wheel spin. Comes gears 3 and 4, not a whole lot of power and stuff like that. It really gets up to speed everything at high speeds, but no wheel spin, none of that crazy stuff whatsoever at gears 3 and 4. Alright. Was the highway signs? Hold up. No. Are the decals corrupted or something? I saw the highway sign, the gantry all glitched out, including the chevrons and the speed limiter. Or my decal is screwed up with this little hotfix or what? Here's the yield sign. Yield sign's bugged out, and even with the braking, I'll be find a straightaway to really test the brakes, like right on here. Okay, here's the off-ramp brakes. 30% on the brakes, and wheel spinning. Might as well just bang the front end to get myself back on track, but these brakes are way too strong, probably because we got some freaking 2-piston solid or vented disc brakes, I believe. Even though Automation said that's good enough, I guess it wasn't good enough, I believe, to have this car under control in the corners or just simply slowing it down. So 3 minutes, 10 seconds, 702 milliseconds with my very first run of this here time trial, this map here, this part. So free roam, just whip the bitch. Radiator leaking, pull over. Yeah. This car is just kind of trashy at the corners despite having 265 tires? Called Automation exported wheels. I think they're 265s if I'm correct. It's like if I want to like not have a crap to the wheel spin, like put some freaking 305s, wide body the bitch or something like that for the fronts. Maybe a 235 if I would really consider this a little bit more better with the freaking power delivery to the rear wheels. So here we are at the top of Car Jump Arena with the frickin' DeVol LSX that's supercharged and so out of control. So we got a 3 light, 4 light, and the 5th light. Commencing the green, go. Slowly pan over, supercharged. Struggle to find second gear. Drop this down to the ramp and end this out of control car's misery. And get a top speed. So 3rd gear. 4th gear, this is what I'm talking about. So, do we reach top speed? Yes. Yes, we do. 182, past the 200, 300. Ooh, we're going to be going far with this one. So, approaching, looks like 480. At the 480 meter marker. Not too bad, and our 4 wheels up. Please. 4 wheels, yes, we are on 4 wheels. Just keep going. Sand pit we go. Sleep with the fishes. I thought that would be even worse, hitting the little edge of the pool there and into the wall. Fence, technically speaking. And despite all that freaking chaos, the engine still runs. The car is jacked up. Could I still deliver power? Nope, because it's the only surviving drive wheel in this car here that's all freaking jacked up. Turn into a freaking murder weapon with these jagged polygons, and the freaking 421 supercharged badge is still good. See a little bit of the engine here. The engine or the supercharger? Damn, you can see the supercharger barely poking through the hood scoop. Damn. So, with the Chasis DeVol LSX, this supercharged muscle car is only good for driving when you're already at a high speed. With its ridiculous 1st and 2nd gear wheel spins, touchy brakes that easily lock up, and decent cornering ability, it pretty much, in a terrible way, explains what were muscle cars like before the oil crisis kicked in, yo. If this car would have been better, I would definitely alter the gear ratios, widen the rear tires, and reconsider the brake choices, instead of overly relying on Automation's braking chart for optimal performance. So anyways, that'll do it with Automation's newest Al-Rilma update and BeamNG.drive. And for those who are interested in this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any videos like this in the future. So this is TRIZE rising up and signing out.